Okay. Welcome, everyone. We are doing a live stream today about the biggest mistakes buyers make when relocating and how to avoid them. So my name is Irina Bordyn. I'm a Charleston, South Carolina realtor, and with me today is...
I'm Lana Kalinowski from cold Minnesota. Today is December. We're having snow here. And I'm working with people who relocated here to Minnesota regarding their jobs. Kids want different schools or changing lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first biggest mistake. Oh, before we even go into that, I just wanted to say, whoever is viewing, you don't have to take any notes. I have a checkup list that I can just send you over. Just put in the comments checklist, and I will send it over to you. But let's get to common mistake number one: not researching the lifestyle enough. So let's talk about this here for a minute. So here in South Carolina, the weather is very different from the rest of the country. We do get quite some heat in June, July, August. It gets really hot and really humid. Not only that, we do have hurricane season. In theory, it's from June 1st until November 1st, but the most active months are the month of September. So that is something you just have to be aware of. Another thing people need to know is, because we are so coastal and we have so many islands, we have Johns Island, James Island, Isle of Palms, Charleston downtown itself is a peninsula, Mount Pleasant is a peninsula. So with all this, we have lots of bridges. And sometimes the bridges close because of weather or because of accidents. And then traffic gets rerouted, and that will lead to delays. So that is something people are not aware of, and you need to know that. Then as far as the lifestyle is concerned, I absolutely love it here. The weather is beautiful. Lots of boating happening here, lots of tennis happening here, and golf. So those are the big things here. A very much outdoor lifestyle. So tell me, Lana, how is that working for you in Minneapolis?
In Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, we call them, it's usually like twin cities. And all around Minnesota, we're having big differences regarding lifestyle and the weather. So, of course, people who is coming from warm states can be a little bit disappointed or surprised. We have really, really cold winters here. And even today in December, we already have like 10 days snow, and we're shoveling in the morning. So you need some special equipment. If you move in here, at least you need winter tires. You need to warmer clothes, and you need to be ready to cold time. And of course, because it's colder during the winter, you will need to take care about heating bills. But we will talk about this a little bit later. Twin Cities have a very active lifestyle. Doesn't matter if it's a winter, summers are beautiful here, because during the summer, people are boating, hiking, fishing. During the winter, people snowshoe, skating, skiing. Also doing, it's very interesting, ice fishing. So it's a lot of activities that people will find regarding lifestyle. And of course, we have a huge art festivals and food festivals. We have festivals of ice sculpture during the winter, and many others. So, of course, if we will talk about commute, people who relocate into Minnesota, they need to be ready that commute during the winter can be like 1.5 or twice longer than usually it's during the summer. So destination, let's say from suburbs, I live in Woodbury. So from Woodbury to St. Paul or Minneapolis, during summertime, it's a 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And during the snowfall, during the winter, it may take from 35 to 40 minutes.
So just make sure before you decide to move here, visit during different seasons, check out the traffic pattern, just so you know what you're getting into. So biggest mistake number 2 is choosing a home before choosing a location, because the neighborhoods, they can feel entirely different. You can see the most gorgeous home on the internet on Zillow, and then but you have to drive through the neighborhood to actually get to it, like the hood to get to it. So that is very important to check this out. Then, of course, here we have lots of historic parts because we are such an old city. And you need to know the difference between those and the regular suburban neighborhoods which have newer construction. So historic homes, they come like with different stipulations, because there is a reason why the city of Charleston has still this historic feel. It is because anything on the outside of a historic home, any change has to be approved by the BAR, the Board of Architectural Review. So you have to submit plans and they have to approve them before you can do anything. So let's say changing out windows or, painting the siding, it has to be an approved color, for example. So that is something you just have to know about. And then, of course, the insurance topic is very different because we are coastal. You have to know, the areas that are in a flood zone. You have to know the different wind and hail areas because your insurance premiums can vary significantly. And then of course, the traffic, I just touched up on it earlier. You have to know the traffic pattern because sometimes it can get quite busy.
Interesting. So here in Minnesota, if you allowed me, we have also differences. We have different personality between Twin City, which is Minneapolis, St. Paul, and suburbs as well. So let's say if you work in the cities, of course you want to be closer to your work, and then you looking to purchase your property in St. Paul and Minneapolis. What you're going to find there? You will find there more classy homes, older homes, all homes over there, majority of them like 100+ years old. So you need to be ready to that. And regarding the lots, if you're looking for bigger lot, unfortunately, you're not going to find the bigger lot over there, or it can be completely different price. So usually lots are smaller over there and houses are smaller over there, but they are affordable. Their median sales price right now in Minneapolis, St. Paul, $380,000. So it's very affordable. If we will talk about condo or townhouses, it's completely different price range because we can find condo minimums from 100,000 and plus.
Yes.
If we will talk about suburbs, of course, we'll find newer houses. Age of those houses approximately from 50 to like 50, 70 years. And we will find a lot of new constructions if you desire to have one. If we will talk about taxes, tax differences are also affecting the property. If we will talk about Twin Cities, taxes are a little bit higher. And if we will talk about suburbs, of course, it depends because it's usually less, but new construction, of course, it's going to be higher. And I will tell, before you will fall in love in any home, just go and check the areas. If your kids look in a specific school district, check again the areas because you will have opportunity to explore different neighborhoods and make a better decision for your family.
Right. And that is why it's so important to work with a local agent, because they can give you lots of information about the different areas, communities, infrastructure, and all what comes to it. So biggest mistake number 3 is underestimating the cost differences. And Lana, actually, you touched up on it just a second ago. Our property taxes are different. So in general, property taxes in South Carolina are known to be pretty low. So that is great. But our main 3 counties here is Charleston County, Berkeley County, and Dorchester County. And out of those 3 counties, Dorchester County is significantly more expensive when it comes to property taxes. And that is something most people are not aware of. So this is something to pay attention to and to talk to your agent about it. And then the different HOA regulated communities, they can be significant price differences too. We have master plan community there, like massive community, and they have an extra charge, the so-called community enhancement fee, which is actually a separate line item on your taxes. So that is also something most people are not aware of, and something to pay attention to. Tell me.
I will add also about Minnesota. In general, I'm not going to stop on taxes. People who live in here, this is probably the biggest question. They hate high taxes, but it is what it is. You know, we love the state. We love the state. We love the nature. We like the lifestyle. And who knows, maybe one day it's going to turn to better. Regarding other points, I would pay attention to heating and energy bills, because again, during a cold winter or early spring, late fall, you need to pay attention and you need to calculate, you know, how much it's will cost you if you move from warm state and it will be your first winter. And another thing, of course, you need to pay attention to winter costs. I mean, at least you need to have tires for the car. You need to have shoveling equipment. If you will be on vacation, you will need to find someone who will be helping you to shovel snow when you're out. And if you will purchase a townhouse, this is maybe something that you would love, because then association will take care about all this winter stuff, and during the summer doing another job.
Okay. So biggest mistake number 4, assuming homes are built the same everywhere. Well, not here in the Charleston area. So we have houses that are built on a slab. We have houses that are built a little bit elevated on a crawl space. And we have houses that are built on stilts. So this is because, you know, if you're very, very coastal on a lake, you have to be a very elevated house. The building code is like that. Crawl spaces, they come with their own issues, because that is an area where moisture likes to settle in. Of course, there are things that you can do to crawl spaces to mitigate that. You can encapsulate it and have a dehumidifier in there. But these are all things, you know, when you, for example, purchase a pre-owned home with a crawl space, you have to make sure the crawl space is intact, because that is a space that has been notoriously neglected by homeowners, because nobody likes to spend money on things they cannot see. So they would rather spend some money on a new bathroom than the same amount of money to update your crawl space, which is totally understandable. So when purchasing a home, that is very, very, important. Another item that most people in other parts of the country are not familiar with is the termite bond, because we are so close to water and the marshes and everything. Termites like to settle in and they like to destroy wood. So we have a termite bond that will cover any damage or prevent it, also by having termite bait traps laid out. That is something we need to do when we own a home here. So how does that work in your part of the country?
In Minnesota, we also have completely different style of houses. And sometimes when people are relocating here, I'm asking those questions to them, and they actually not expecting that houses looks different here. Majority of houses in Minnesota have a basement. It's like a must to be thing. And if we will talk about basements, in Twin Cities, there might be, usually they are not finished, but this is going to be your potential, you know, how to improve your extra square footage and make your house bigger. Of course, in suburbs, it's already usually finished basements. And if we're talking about new constructions, builders usually offering not finished basements that you can finish by yourself and make value of your house bigger. Or you just can use it like a huge storage and live in-house how it is. Another item, insulation and furnace, again, regarding cold winters, makes sense to check their age and efficiency. And of course, another item, it's a roof. Last year, we have some deals with insurance companies who realistically not really want to insure roofs that is 10 years older. Of course, we're working with different insurance company. We're always finding solution for our clients, but roof age is matter here in Minnesota.
Oh,
And
just
like
well here, but with here, I have clients that got dropped by their insurance company because their roof was 12 years old, which is not old for a roof, but they got dropped. And then you have to default to a different insurance company, a carrier, who charges a premium. That
Sure.
can easily be $1,000 a year more, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. In Minnesota, we're dealing with roofs like about 20 years old, and everybody counts that they old. And prior selling the house, we're talking to our clients and recommending them to rethink, maybe to put a new roof if it's possible. But anyway, also the style of the house is different regarding the age. I would not repeat myself. It can be from a beautiful Victorian styles, very classy houses. Yes, we can find those houses in Minneapolis and St. Paul. They're beautiful and modern, and they have so many unique features that feed that times. And of course, we can find modern new constructions that just more modern, more simple, and you can upgrade them the way how you like.
Yes. So I cannot stress how important it is when you purchase a home to get a home inspection done, whether it's new construction or pre-owned. It is absolutely important. It is very important also to not only get an inspection, but work with a reputable company. And
100% agree.
Yes. Okay, so biggest mistake number 5. Expecting to be the buying process to feel the same as in their previous home, state. Well, South Carolina is an attorney state. What that means is that closing is being done at the attorney's office. Also, another difference is how earnest money, which is also commonly known as good faith money, is being handled here in South Carolina, because you have the option to pay the earnest money either to your agent's brokerage to hold it in escrow, or to the closing attorney that they hold it in escrow. So that is also a difference. That is not the same everywhere. Also, as far as the closing time is concerned, here, the typical closing time from the time you go under contract to closing takes about 30 days. Sometimes you can do it a little bit quicker, or, you can close like in the quickest I've had it was like 2 weeks for a cash buyer, because the attorneys still have to do the title work. They have to make sure that the buyer is getting a marketable title. There's no cloud on the title, and you can stretch it out to like up to 45 days. But then the seller says, "I want to close," and move on. So how does that work in your state, Lana?
Oh, we are completely opposite with what you just mentioned. We're a state with, and we close in with title companies. So we're not closing with attorney. I don't know, maybe probably someone very rare, like exclusion might. But again, we are closing all transactions with title companies. And yes, and but we have some standards, but of course, everything can be different and more common. Let's say this way. We have an inspection period about 10 days. It can be shorter in the busy summertime. I would say that we are selling here houses and purchasing houses a whole year long, but most activity happening over the spring. It's great that most activity happening over the spring, because buyers think that it's a great time to purchase a house because it's more houses on market. But at the same time, we have more buyers looking for the house, and buyers creating those bidding wars. And then they have to make a decision regarding important terms that we realistically don't recommend to skip, like inspection.
Yes.
So inspection, it's we always highly recommended it here. And we have an appraisal and financial terms. I don't know how it's in different states, but usually after inspection, we have appraisal and financial stuff to be approved. It's usually taken about 2 weeks. So from the beginning of offer accepted to close transaction, we usually have like 30 days. It might be longer, of course, like 45 days. I would say 60, it's probably very rare, but again, everything negotiable. If it's fit both parties, it's great. And I don't know how it's many other states. Maybe we have a different offer structure, regarding some terms and conditions, escalation clause. Some agents are working and some brokerages take an escalation clause. Some brokerage not take an escalation clause. And same with inspection waiver, appraisal waiver. So it's many small details that we're not gonna consider right now.
Very, very, very interesting. I was not aware of that. So that's cool. That's very good to know. Biggest mistake, number 6, trying to rush to relocation. So, and basically it sums it all up what we have discussed during this live stream. Moving too fast sometimes gets you in the wrong neighborhood. And if you're not location, that's just how it is. If you're not happy in your neighborhood and you want to get out and you haven't owned the home like 4 or 5 years, you will be losing money because selling a home, as we all know, is quite expensive. So make sure that you are sure about your location. Make sure you understand the difference between coastal and inland. Talk to your realtor about that. Or if you are thinking about relocating, you can call me anytime. My contact information is in my Instagram, or you can call me at 843-714-3806. If you are feeling rushed, don't rush into it. You can always rent for a short period of time. We have lots of month-to-month options here. There is a great website that I can gladly share. Just hit me up in the comments and I will send it over to you, where you can just rent on a month-to-month basis. So tell me, Lana.
Yeah, and here regarding it can be huge mistakes again regarding climate change, different weather conditions, and let's say different school districts, because we're having some school who is like great. We have all great schools, but some schools are concentrated more like, let's say, on football or public speaking or on art. And if you want your kid went to the right school regarding his interest, so then you need to explore the district. And sometimes a school district can be in one city, and sometimes school district can be bigger and combine like 2 or 3 cities together. So this is a great option to come over or hire a local realtor who can do virtual showings for you. At least you will understand how houses looks and difference between houses. And then it's nice to come over during the winter. Recently, I was helping one client. She was relocating from California, and it was great experience. She come over during the coldest times, last year, coldest days in January, just to see if she would like it to be here when it's extremely
she
cold.
Can take the cold.
You're not gonna believe it. She loved it, and then to relocate here. And she is extremely happy, yes, because she is walking every day around the lake, and she enjoys city style at the same time. And other mistake, if you fell in love with a house and the house is in the wrong location, again, regarding your needs or interests, it can be hard for you to make a right decision to buy or not to buy.
Yes.
And if anybody is interested to move to Minnesota, I would be more than happy to help. And I am not giving generic advices to anybody. I prefer to sit with my client, to listen their needs, and to be very specific and helpful and build the strategy regarding my client.
Yes. Yes, very good. Well, Lana, this has been very informative. Thank you for your time. I truly enjoyed it. Dear audience, if you have any questions, if you would like the checklist or anything else, hit us up. We'll send it over to you. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you so
very much, Irina.
And have a great day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Totally. Yes. Sorry, I almost forgot. Thank you.